We are currently in the elementary multi-purpose room. Oftentimes this is considered our second gym. It's considered our second gym for high school practices, for middle school practices, and for really any athletic overflow that we have from our main competition gym. As you can see, there's some issues with having practices and competitions in here. There's no seating, so to host a middle school basketball game in here is next to impossible. The ceiling is significantly lower than what would be needed for an adequate volleyball practice, or really even an adequate basketball practice. The floor is made to withstand a lot of damage. It's a plastic sport court type of floor. It's designed to hold roller skating and golf and some of the things that the PE class is doing here. It's really not designed as a high school or even middle school practice facility, and that's what it's being used for. Every other week, our varsity teams rotate between this gym and the main gym to hold a practice. And if you ask our coaches or our athletes, they'll tell you it's just not suitable for the types of things that they would like to do in here. The group that really loses out is our elementary kids. We have elementary basketball and elementary activities that take place, and they have last precedent in this gym, and it's really their gym. They schedule their basketball practices late Wednesday night and late Sunday night because those are the only times that they can get in. This is considered our second gym, but really truly it's a multi-purpose room. It's used for pictures, it's used for fundraising, it's used for all of the other things that we don't want to have in the big gym. We're in the current elementary wing, and really the bulk of the project centers around this space. Just 3 or 4 years ago, this middle section here was hardly utilized. It was used for a conference space and a little bit of preschool. In the last 4 years, we've added a classroom on both ends, and we've also divided a kindergarten classroom in the middle. So we've added 3 classroom spaces in the last 3 or 4 years, and we don't have anywhere else to go. We're projecting another large class to come in for next year, which means that we'll divide another class for next school year, and we won't have any place to put them. We currently have a preschool room kind of out of sync. It's up here when the rest of the preschool is down on the other side of the building, because that's the only space that we had. We've had to relocate our ICN room out of this area and move it to another spot in the building. Our technology space has been relocated to another part of the building because we're just out of space. When students want a conference or do a small pull-out group, they don't have anywhere to go. They sit in the elementary commons, or they go to an administrator's office or the main office, someplace where they can just fit in, where they can find an empty spot to work in a small group. This year we have 180 students in our elementary K through 5. It wasn't that many years ago that we had 110 kids in this same space. So it's really taking off. It's an exciting problem to have, but we've really become tight with the space that we have. In the event that it doesn't this December, we will have at least 1 portable, if not 2, out on the ground someplace else. That group will be disconnected from the rest of the school. And it's just not an ideal learning environment for our kids. The hallway that you're standing in, or that we're standing in right now, is the busiest hallway in the building. We have, let's see here, 3, 7, 8 classrooms that empty into this hallway. We've had to add 17 lockers to this hallway in the last 2 years. It's just a very busy place to be. Additional classroom space will kind of free up this hallway a little bit, make it a little safer. It'll put 2 to 3 classrooms on the end cap. That will allow us to utilize our space just a little bit better. We're standing just outside of the preschool room that was built in the early 1990s. The preschool room it was designed for about 20 students, and our current preschool program has about 60 in it right now. One of the issues that we would like to address is our handicap accessibility. Our preschool room sits at a different grade than the elementary does. I'm standing on the stairs that our preschool kids have to travel up and down every day to get to lunch, to recess, and to the buses potentially. In the proposed project, there'd be a second preschool room built that would connect to the middle school, that would put everything really on one level for them. They could get to lunch without going up and down stairs, and they could get to the buses without going up and down stairs. It'd really help, it would really be important for those students that have some needs. We're actually in the middle of third hour high school gym right now, but it takes place in our high school gymnasium, and this high school gym has been around for a long time. And it's a good space. It's met our needs for a long time. However, we've had some safety concerns, some overcrowding issues that have come up in the last several years. As you can see behind me, there's about 4 to 5 feet between our bleachers and our end lines. We have the same issues at the end of each court, where we have just 4 or 5 feet separating a concrete wall from our basketball team, our volleyball team. And the state now requires at least 10 feet between the wall and the end line. The gym isn't currently air conditioned, which if you've attended a volleyball game, or if you've attended graduation, or really in the middle of the winter, this is not a climate controlled space, and it is quite uncomfortable. But most of all, our teams are very successful, and our community supports our athletes. With seating for about 550 people, we're full most nights, and then some. Our stage, which you can see in the background, is utilized for overflow, but it's a stage that just holds folding chairs, and it's still not ideal. So the space itself we'll continue to utilize. We'll continue to utilize for middle school games, for practices, but a competition space that better meets the needs of our student athletes and our community would be very beneficial. We're standing at the site of a potential elementary addition. We're actually standing where a classroom would be located. And you can see in the background our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders are out for recess right now. One of the affected areas of a building project would be this playground. We would have to rotate it about 90 degrees, moving the equipment, the barriers, some of the fencing to accommodate our recess time. And you can see that there's going to be plenty of space to put the recess equipment, but it is going to have to be moved. The end of the project, or the perimeter of the project, would most likely be the concrete tennis court in the back that you see. Just because the classroom would come out, and then there would be a downslope as well. There would be 2 to 3 classrooms where we stand right now, which would be very exciting. Hopefully it's become apparent that the Janesville Consolidated School District is reaching near capacity with the space that we have. Our elementary schools, 180 students now, K through 5, up from 110 just a few years ago. Our secondary is up again this year as well. So our space right now is not meeting the needs of our students, and we're excited to put this building project forward and hope that it meets our students' needs going forward. For more information, please reach out to me via email or call the school. We'll request a tour, and we'll walk you through this building and show you everything that's happening here. Thank you.